Well, welcome back to the arena. Pregame festivities continuing here with the Northwest Florida State College President's Circle being honored. And after that, soon after that, will be the Raiders and the Indians, long time rivals here in the Panhandle Conference. I would say dislike would be an understatement at times.
Yeah, it's been a big rivalry over the years. A little bit of a taking a turn this year with the Raiders having such successful undefeated conference mark at this point. Hopefully they can continue that trend.
Quite a few of them lined up, taking up all 92 feet of the court. You see Jerry Williams there, president of Eglin Federal Credit Union. Wayne Campbell, former CEO of Fort Walton Beach Medical Center. Jeff McGinnis, Lamar Connerly, Tracy Connerly, going on down the line. Who's who? It is a who's who. There's Ross Hamilton, Byron Cotton, from the law firm of Cotton and Gates. Wife Julie Cotton. It is a who's who out here tonight.
Talked about the conference. Northwest Florida State College comes in at 10-0, 24-2 overall. Tallahassee has the second spot, but only a game up on Chipola College. So this is one Chipola's got to have, realizing that Raiders travel to Tallahassee Saturday, and Chipola could, if they could steal one here, and the Raiders would lose. Excuse me, the Raiders would take care of business in Tallahassee, then that might give them that second spot.
Yeah, kind of like the women's game, and the Chipola women couldn't have a slip up. They could really use a Raider slip up here. The Chipola Indians could.
And if I remember correctly, last time it was a very close game. Raiders won at Chipola 83-81. Excuse me, Raiders won here 83-81, and then 94-84 at Chipola. Coach Johnson, Jeff Johnson. Excuse me, Brett Campbell does a great job with getting his guys ready to play, so it should be a monster game for Chipola.
He's assisted by Brendan Foley, John Smith, sounds like a fake name to me, and Michael Dubose, sounds like a coach to me.
Yeah, coach at Alabama.
Again, the thanks being handed out here to the Raiders supporters here at mid-court before the game. So it'll be a little bit of a late start. President's Circle here at Northwest Florida State. Nice round of applause for them all. As they're now being led off. Why does the Westminster Dog Show come to mind? Oh, boy. Athletic Director Ramsey Ross out there. Maybe it's a new sport in the Panhandle.
Maybe. Like lacrosse is taking over.
It was only time. Lacrosse is getting big down in South Florida. It's big up in Georgia. It just kind of skipped here in Northwest Florida.
It has. It's a great sport. It created a lot of interest within the school. So look forward to seeing it take off down here and give kids another option.
Yeah. As I think we're going to have another national anthem. We had one before the women's game. As I see the old saxophone getting ready to crank it up.
Coach DeMayo with a nice touch as the players come and welcome the contributors.
Yep, players are out there as well. As we normally reflect, it's a beautiful night for basketball in the arena. It always is. Never a bad weather report in here.
No, haven't had one rain delay yet.
72 degrees and a mild breeze from the units up top.
Pretty good crowd that's filed in on this side. Pretty good crowd on this side as well. as the Raider faithful has come out for the last home game of the season.
This will be it, and it's a long push. It started on November the 4th. As Coahoma Community College came in, and that's when it all began. So we'll pause now and stand as we honor America with our national anthem. That's a rendition to close on this year, isn't it? Boy, he's bringing the house down.
Absolutely, fantastic job.
You got starters tonight, John.
For the Indians out of Chipola, coached by Brett Campbell. You have 0, Jamal Gregory. 2, Deshaun Martin. 4, Jashir Hardnett. 5, Cedric Wright. And number 12, Eric Cobb. For the Raiders, number 4, Jared Wilson Frame. Number 5, Daryl Edwards. Number 10, Andres Feliz. Number 11, Jerome Rodriguez. And number 12, Malik Pettaway, which has been the starting 5 as long as I can remember this year. Not a lot
Went all the way through, right? Yeah.
That's a milestone in itself. No injuries. Model of consistency.
Yeah, 4 of those 5 returners from last year. It's been the way to do it. They'll cut the lights down and make it look like Michael Jordan's house.
You know, I can't remember how many years this arena has been here, Tom, but you just hope that the fans appreciate that and don't take it for granted. This is some special place.
Oh, yeah. Daryl Edwards being introduced, Andres Feliz, JWF Wilson Frame, Jerome Rodriguez, and Petway. Not the biggest of team, but certainly athletic, and they can play a number of different ways.
They can, Tom, and what makes them so effective is that bench. You know, the bench can come in and they can just continue to keep the momentum, keep the winning ways going. They play good basketball. They play together. And what you're starting to see with the team now is it's starting to buy into a little bit more of just that team chemistry and making that extra pass.
Yeah. Well, the Raiders snuck out of one earlier this year on the 18th of January here, 83-81, and then cruised to a 10-point win at Chipola, 94-84. You see some of the same old faces in wearing stripes here too, don't we?
We do. Everybody moving up in the world.
Petway controls the tip, and Feliz does a little moonwalk and walks it across midcourt. Last home game of the season, promptly turned over, and Deshaun Martin lays it up and in. Not the way you want to start.
No, Feliz picked up his dribble, got caught, and Chipola takes advantage of it.
Wilson frame for three, and it makes that look easy. Two good guys. A little duress defensively, doesn't create a turnover, just a little bit of unrest, and a three is good by Hardenet.
Already a little different game than we saw with the women's game. Guys knocking down shots.
Yeah, the women were hitting the shots, they just weren't going down. Wilson frame has all 5 of the Raider points. Minute and 10 seconds gone here. It's 5-all. Not checking a monitor. I'm assuming we're scoreboard still not functioning correctly on in and out. So we'll keep you abreast. Bounce pass into the high post. And we're going to call it jump ball. Possession will stay with the Indians.
Raiders had a hard time last game, or actually the first time they played in the 83-81 win, trying to deal with Eric Cobb. He's a load, 6'9", probably about 250. Good footwork, really good hands.
Coach DeMayo, I don't think that jacket's going to last long on him tonight. He's already wearing it out from the inside.
Jamal Gregory knocks down a long three. It's not going to count, as you mentioned, with the shot clock violation, but it shows his range. And like we talked about before in the pregame, Chipola really needs this one.
For things to go their way, they do need it. They need this and a little help, but help doesn't matter if you don't get this one. Romy Rodriguez with a slam dunk. (7-5) Raiders. 2 minutes gone here in opening half. Move inside, and a couple Raiders got him. We'll see who they call for the foul. I think it's going to be Darrell.
I'm a little confused as well on where the foul was, but.
And Darrell explained to the official, I hit the ball to no avail, and he's saying he got him on the arm. No, Coach DeMayo working him. First free throw good. It's 7-6 to tie it. Rebound, Jerome Rodriguez. They talked about some of the schools that he's considering. St. Louis being one, St. Bonaventure being one. And the friendly roll for Wilson Frame.
Wilson Frame totally out of control, but his perfect night continues as he gets that to rattle home.
Skip pass right in front of us. 3 attempt. Air ball. And the chorus begins as Edwards over to Wilson Frame. Inside. Romy Rodriguez kind of got caught in the air. Feliz with the rebound, and he'll bring it out and go right back. What an addition he has made to this team this year.
He's been steady. When he can stay out of foul trouble, he's been really steady for this team.
11-5, Raiders on top. Wilson Frame with the loose ball. Heading coast to coast, gets swatted away. Lost out of bounds. Possession will stay with Northwest Florida State. Former coach Ray Ross telling me something today I didn't know. The Raiders pushing for that 12-0 in the Panhandle Conference. He said it's never been done by the Raiders, and he says as far as he knows, that he doesn't sure it's ever been done before.
Yeah, I mentioned that last week. Wasn't sure if it had been done or not, but really
Medway knocks it down.
Great chance for the Raiders to
make history. Yeah. 13-6. Hard cut, lost out of bounds. It'll stay with Chipola as Gregory lost the handle on it, but last touch by a Raider. Gregory will set it up over to Hardnett. Hardnett waves for some help and takes the three. Banks open. Raiders going to the weave. Now Feliz will run the point, crossover and spin. And throw it right to Gregory. Oh. And Jerome didn't mean to get him that hard, I'm sure. And Gregory's getting up. Jerome's having some words with Deshaun Martin. Martin still talking about it. And the officials moving right in.
They did not call an intentional foul. Wow.
And apparently it's going to be a flagrant one or intentional foul. So 2 shots and the possession. First free throw good by Gregory. Gregory out of Washington, D.C. And possession on the baseline. And stolen by Edwards. And a little turnabout is fair play, as the Indians come in with a hard foul.
Deshaun Martin just with a careless turnover. Darrell Edwards does a nice job of attacking the gap, gets the steal, and off to the races. Just a foot race at that point. Hard foul, but going for the ball, so it's not going to be a flagrant one.
Which is something Rodriguez did not do. Edwards, 71% from the line for the year. Makes them both. 15-11. As we're approaching 4.5 minutes gone here in the opening half. Raiders on top by 4. Bounce pass into the paint, stolen by the Raiders. Wilson Frame dangerously close to stepping on the baseline, but did not. Into Rodriguez. Back out to Feliz with a floater. Just a little floated it short. And possession to the Indians.
You brought this point up, Tom, that Raiders aren't really big, but they were relentless on the glass and sometimes can out-rebound bigger teams by just sheer hustle.
And some of that goes way back, not even past Coach DeMayo and Coach Forbes with Rod Rucker back in the day. Man, he's a living proof you don't have to be big to rebound.
There's a name from the past.
Rucker was a rebounding machine here and at UAB.
You look at all these pictures are on the wall of fame, and just you think about all the good players that have come through. Not to mention great coaches.
First free throw good for Eric Cobb out of St. Francis Academy in Jacksonville. 65% free throw shooter on the year.
That's good there.
Feliz being harassed by Hardnett. And Hardnett pays off. Other end. Oh, and a missed slam dunk. Not only did he miss it, Gregory went down, and the fans are giving him the business.
Embarrassing moment by the young man, but boy, I was hoping that was going to go down, because that was
impressive.
That was going to be spectacular. On the heels of the slam dunk contest, I guess it was last week, huh?
Yeah. 15-13. Raiders on top. Wilson Frame, a rare miss. And Big Cobb brings it up, and he bounce passes it right into the cheerleaders.
Raiders fortunate there. That bad pass led to the out of bounds. They had a for sure layup.
Feliz will bring it up as we approach the 6-minute gone mark here at the arena. Bounce pass into the paint, and Rodriguez makes it look easy off the assist.
Shows the art of finesse with the finger roll. Doesn't need to power it home.
And here goes Edwards. And beautifully done. Chipola wasting no time getting back down the court. Edwards with a strip, and here we go with a 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Romy. As Dick Vitale would say, they need a TO, baby. They need a TO.
That brings the Raider fans to their feet, at least one side of it.
21-13, Raiders on top. We'll be back after these words. You're watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
Well, the Raiders turned the dial on the intensity meter to the right on those last couple of possessions, Coach.
Edwards has been very, very active on the defensive end, and just when you can turn your defense into offense, it's always a good thing. Easy baskets, transition, gets the crowd into it, all positives.
Great coach at St. Anthony, Bob Hurley, used to say your offense is like the stock market. It's up and down, but your defense is like your passbook savings. It's always there for you. 8-point lead, Raiders. 13:30 to play here, opening half. Backdoor cut by Hardnett. Hardnett's especially active on both ends of the floor. Out of Gulfport High School, Mississippi.
Looks like Chipola's going to go a little 3-2 zone here.
Coats off for Coach DeMayo. Petway, I meant, will take the jumper. And won't fall. Still 6-point game. And turnover again by Chipola. Feliz forces tempo. Goes to the left side, puts it up with his right, uses his body, and it's an 8-point game.
Feliz doing a nice job defensively on Harden and not allowing him to break free.
Bank off the glass, put back no good. Third attempt, tried to by Aylock. And a foul called.
First substitutions of the night for the Raiders as the commission is getting ready to check in, and also Freeman, Ron Freeman.
Yep, Ron Freeman, transfer from K-State. One of your favorites, the Commissioner Gordon, Andrew Gordon.
Didn't see Freeman last home game. Didn't really get a chance to get much action at all.
.12 to play. 7-point game. 23-16 Raiders lead. Errant pass right into the high-paying spectators. Sponsor luxury seats.
Up close and personal for them.
Yeah. Edwards. Jumper for three.
Tough to defend there. He just kind of bounced the ball on the perimeter and just pulls up from 24 feet, knocks it down with a hand in his face.
And going to be a foul on the floor.
Nice little play there by Chipola. They went a little misdirection. Point guard kicks it back, and they sealed the post. Post was there. They just decided not to pass the ball inside.
Timeout for us, the media. That's us. We'll pause 60 seconds. Raiders by 10. You're watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
Back after the timeout. 10-point lead.
Well, talk about up close and personal.
I'll tell you, man. You can check out the pimples and the acne cream we use to keep looking this good. Raiders will, Chipola will have it on the baseline, inbounded by Hardnett.
Just lost some viewers with that.
I was going to say, a bunch of them just signed off, RJ.
5 seconds.
You don't need to do that. They've got cruel and unusual punishment. Three-pointer lefty is good by Carter Skaggs.
Boy, that's got to be the scouting report. Coach DeMayo's frustrated with that. That's his probably only role in there to shoot the basketball.
11:15 to play here in the opening half. And going to have another foul on the floor is the miss by Ron Freeman. Will inbound it on the baseline. Feliz will do the honors and took a timeout, could not get it in.
No, they get the 5-second count.
No, the 5-second count. He did not get it in. You're right. Well, again, Chipola desperately needing a win to keep alive in the state tournament. Right now they're in third in our conference. But a win here combined with some other help would really help them out as they pick up a travel on this end.
Must have shuffled his feet. I was blocked by the action, but needless to say, turned over by the Indians.
P.J. Bruce and Freeman both in. Long three attempt. Good by Darrell Edwards. And a steal by Freeman. Showtime.
Pretty athletic move by Freeman. He gets the steal. He takes a sidestep. Still has enough momentum going to get up
to dunk it.
And to still dunk it. We've talked about his spring and what an asset he can be coming off the bench, being able to get in that lineup and make plays on the defensive end, and also be able to finish like that. That was impressive.
Freeman's the closest to 100% on the team from free throw line without being 100. 92%. Casey Ponder's the only one at 100. He's knocked the ball down. Athletic move, and here we go again. 3-on-2 opportunity with Edwards leading it. Left hand. Timeout Chipola as the lead goes to 34-19 to a standing O. Full timeout. We'll pause as well back after these words. First horn warning back after the timeout. Raiders, nice little run there as we approach the 10-minute mark.
Yes, again, just the defense triggering your offense. Darrell Edwards at the center of all that. Raiders shooting a very, very high percentage. You should think from the three-point line and also all the layups they've gotten.
Both Ezzedine and the commissioner, Gordon, both are in right now. They'll work off the high screen, double the ball jumper. No good. Here we go the other way. Bounce pass to the commish. Can't hold on to it.
That's asking a lot from
6'10"
from the commissioner. Freeman gives him a tough pass to handle. Really probably should have lobbed it up where he can catch it and still not break his stride.
10 minutes exactly left here in the first half. We're halfway done. 34-19, good guys. Gordon caught it, got fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Unless they call this on the floor.
Well, he had to be in motion the shot.
Technical foul. It looked like 2 technical fouls were called. We'll see.
Yeah, Ezzedine and Cedric Wright were jawing back and forth. Referee separated them, and they continue to jaw.
Yep, Ezzedine with 1. So chalk one up in the team foul column for both. So we'll be shooting bonus from this point on for both teams.
Like you said, the heated rivalry with these guys. Goes back long before this year.
Heck, long before these guys were born.
Yeah.
A couple buildings ago, not even the old building. You go back to the days in Niceville High School when the Raiders would play Chipola. And Darrell Edwards goes out to a nice round of applause.
And well deserved. Really playing well.
TJ Bogan out of Jennings, Missouri is in for Darrell. 36-19. 2 points scored and 2 technical fouls called in that possession. And the Raiders so active defensively. And
great job defensively. The Indians did exactly what they needed to. They got the ball in the middle. They tried to pass down, and the players in white just retreated below the ball to cause havoc and prevent that layup. Not sure where the foul was, but great hustle and great rotation by the Raiders.
Free throw is short. Comes right into the hands of P.J. Bruce. Corner jumper long. Here come the Indians. Both teams trying desperately to run fast, and will continue to do so.
Boy, I watched that sequence there, Tom. Freeman took a horrible shot. I wanted to see his body language as he came back down, but he sprinted back down. He was part of the play that got the steal, and then turns the Jets back on that end and gets the slam dunk. Great pass by Bruce, but just a great sequence by Ron Freeman. Boy, he is fast.
He is. At the line for Chipola, number 22, Eric Turner.
And he's one of those players that he's running hard, but he just glides.
Looks effortless. As Ezzedine goes out, Jerome Rodriguez back in the game. And this is where the Raiders can just eat you alive, is with the subs. Just continue to come at you with more bodies. It's 38-21. Chipola picking up full court. And it gets it in on the 4 count to Ron Freeman. P.J. Bruce will come run the point. Working it left side, Bruce. Romy lost it off his knee.
Raiders will stay with the pressure.
38-21, under 9 minutes to play here in the opening half. The nightcap. Ladies losing earlier, 57-40. Raiders continuing to run. Off the glass, good by Petway. Raiders opening up a 19-point lead. And here we go again. Continue to run. Inside to Rodriguez, and he got hammered.
Gregory did all he could there and knew he was outmatched with Romy on the post and commits the hard foul. 2 bigs by Chipola were tired and really couldn't get back. And who can blame them with the pace of the game right now? They're not making shots. The Raiders are getting runouts, and it's a little too fast of a pace for those big bigs.
Yeah, the Raiders are getting rebounds, tipping it out, and just getting and going. 8:22 to play. Romy with a basket, with one of these free throws, can open the lead to 20. Not on that one. Pick your poison. In comes Wilson Frame and Andres Feliz. And the lead is 20. A lot of battles going on. One that the fans aren't seeing tonight. It's really a great one, and it's a competitive one, as that is a miss, is the battle of these handheld cameramen. They're racing down court to get shots, running all over the place. The Chipola cameramen and ours, they're having some fun doing it.
We've got a lot of talent in the building, Tom. A lot of talent. Not just on the floor in shorts.
And here they come again. Andres Feliz with the 1+1. Raiders with a 20-point lead. We are at 8 minutes exactly to play. And members bounce. This camera crew getting on the court. Look at that.
Dueling cameras.
It's like getting on the green at Augusta, filming getting the Masters behind.
Let's not take it too far now.
You want to know the definition of depression? I've got tickets for Monday practice round for Augusta. I got a jury summons for the same day.
Wow.
Rebound. Jerome Rodriguez dribbles his way out. Somehow controls it. Wilson frame into the corner for three.
I'd be happy to take those tickets off your hands for you.
I said I got summons. I didn't say I'm there yet. TJ Bogan.
It's a sacrifice, I know, but I'm there for you if you need me.
Always there. And timeout had to be taken by Hardnett. Got tied up with two, and a smart play. 46-21, 25-point lead.
Boy, who would have thunked this?
Not this guy.
No, not me either.
And the Chipola cameraman's getting tight shots of the Northwest Florida players. I love that.
46-21, and still 7 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, man.
You know, we kind of jokingly talked about how loose the guys were in the locker room, but that's how they're playing. But they play with an edge about them. They play extremely hard, and they understand that defense kind of turns into offense.
Probably the biggest game of the year, the one that may have done it and turned them around, was that loss going into the Christmas break. Ray said it was, one of those, they kind of mailed it in and kind of refocused them, and since then, the Raiders have been perfect.
Well, you look at Choctawhatchee. Choctawhatchee boys basketball team loses the district championship game to Crestview and goes to Pensacola High and to Crestview, wins both. So a loss can sometimes wake you up and get your priorities back in order.
Gregory. Long three attempt, nothing but air, and saved by Chipola. Give it up for the athleticism and the finish.
Hardnett plays with a lot of courage, a lot of guts.
Six minutes, 55 seconds. Wilson frame. Boy, he makes it look easy. You understand the Niceville boys, the Crestview boys, and the Choctawhatchee boys are in the house tonight.
Just a great luxury to have this kind of basketball here where you can come watch and see all these high-level players and really how hard they play.
Yeah.
A lot of high school kids don't understand the energy and the effort it takes to play at this level.
Yeah. It's a lot different than watching it on TV when you see it in person. 49-24, 6:37 to play. Second free throw good by Gregory. 6 minutes, 30 seconds until that chicken wing in the Raider room at half. Bogan. Wilson frame off the knee, dribbles it around. It gets it out. 10 to shoot. Into Rodriguez. Jump hook, off balance, won't fall, but the putback is there by TJ Bogan.
Well, Coach Johnson can't be very happy with that. Coach Campbell can't be very happy with that. There was a loose ball that could have been on the floor from the Indians, and then a breakdown on the offensive glass.
And jump hook good by Uat Alok. .5:44 to play, 51-27. All Raiders tonight here on the last night, sophomore night. Feliz, rare miss. Rebound by Turner. Out to Gregory for three. And that brings a timeout by Coach DeMayo, and he shrugs his shoulders and says, we're going to talk this thing over. As he decides on what variety, he'll keep it as a 30, so we'll keep it right here. Again, Saturday night, Raiders head over to Tallahassee for the final game of the season for the women and the final game of the regular season for the men. Women will tip it off at 4:30 Central Time, followed by the men at 6:30.
And like you talked about, a chance to make history if they can hold on to this lead here tonight. A chance for them to go undefeated in the Panhandle Conference.
Yeah.
Which Coach Ross, who would know more than anybody, has mentioned it has never happened.
Wilson frame to Feliz and stolen by Chipola. So right out of the timeout, Chipola gets what they want. 3 attempt, short, and the Raiders get a rebound. Petway. Wilson frame with a knee by Gregory. So JWF will go to the line. But another timeout, this one of the media variety. So we'll pause for 1 minute. We'll be back after these words. Raiders by 21.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital. Choosing to
5:05 to play in the half. Raiders by 21. First free throw good. Wilson frame, an 80% shooter for the year from the charity stripe, and knocks them both down. Raiders by 23. And a double dribble got away with. Put back is good. And the question mark, if this continues, will be when will we see Casey Ponder?
Well, I imagine Chipola's going to make a run here. They're not going to go down easy.
And this one's going to go back against the Raiders. On Feliz. Substitutions for the Raiders. Darrell Edwards back in along with Kareem Ezzedine.
There's so many skilled subs that they can come in with. Guys that can just, that don't have roles but can do a lot of different things.
Inbound and guarded by Ezzedine. Full court pressure by the Raiders. And another turnover by Chipola. We won't call that a steal, just a mishandle. Edwards was there to pick it up. Petway was waving frantically underneath. It wasn't seen by Edwards.
Legal screen by
Ezzedine.
Ezzedine, yes. Raiders stay with that pressure, and you might ask why. They're not trying to trap, but just the turnover like you saw, just the mental mistakes that Chipola's been making in the first half.
Lead still 21 for the Raiders, 53-32. 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Cross-court pass going baseline, and we have a foul on the floor. But everybody's shooting at this point.
More hustling cameramen.
Hey, man, it's like they're running suicides before practice. You had A-Lock out of Braddock, Pennsylvania at the line. And now the commissioner back in, Andrew Gordon. So both bigs are in for the Raiders. Commissioner grabbed that one without having to leave his feet.
Edwards playing some point guard now. You got Bruce and Feliz on the bench.
Edwards penetrated and probably would have done better just to keep it. He tried to throw it out. And layup is good by Jamal Gregory.
Well, he is athletic as well, isn't he?
He is. Left side, Edwards off the high screen. They'll switch. He thought about it. Outside for three.
Ezzedine's been working on that. We see him the halftime of the women's game.
Yeah.
He's working on that three.
56-35, 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Swatted away by Ezzedine, active hands. Under 3 to play. And we're going to have the offensive foul. You let A-Lock with a hook.
Well, those are the fouls you can't afford to have when you're trying to make a comeback here on the road.
.245 to play. Raiders still by 21. Raiders content to kill a little clock as a rare miss by Freeman. Patton goes left, throws it off, and another missed dunk, that time by A-Lock.
Nice hustle by Ezzedine.
Possession will stay with Chipola. Nice hustle by the official. Quick to point out that foot was laying out of bounds. As they're waiting on a towel to get some perspiration.
That reminds me of our first manager would come off the bench, sprint on the floor, and he would dive like a loose ball to the wet spot. Nobody did it like Thomas Duvall.
Wow.
Thomas, if you're listening, God bless you, son. That was awesome.
And that was probably before there was VHS film of that, huh? Where you could record that and put it on a basketball banquet highlight. Edwards recovers, and how about that if that would have gone? And they're going to wave that one off. Offensive goaltending. It was in the cylinder, and Chipola won. Couldn't leave it alone.
Hardnett's got to be just frustrated. Takes 2 points away from him, a hard-earned 2 points.
56-35. Under 2 to play here in the opening half. All Raiders. What a way to send them out of here into the regional tournament. And hopefully beyond. Easy pickings for Jared Wilson Frame.
I forgot to look and see what they were shooting from the field. It was 68%, Tom. 19 of 28. 8 of 9 from the free throw line. 5 of 8 from the three-point line, and 19 of 28 from the...
Conversely, Chipola is shooting under 40%. And it continues.
Those numbers, because Chipola is really guarding.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job of playing defense and athletic. Gotten some steals, but whenever the Raiders have gotten shots, it's been lights out.
Free throw rattles and goes for Cobb. St. Francis Academy in Jacksonville. 6'9" sophomore. As we approach a minute to play, it's 59-37 Raiders. Baseline move. Oh, Freeman went for it.
Well, I think some of these players are playing for some of the coaches here sitting at the table.
Yeah.
As we have Steve Prom, the Iowa State head coach. These players they're not dumb. They know who's in the stands.
Yeah. First free throw good by Freeman. Los Angeles, California is his home. He came here through Kansas State. And second free throw was missed. So it's a 23-point lead. Under a minute to play. Actually, with 45 seconds. Cobb got away with a travel. No, he didn't. They called it.
Called the second travel.
Yeah. You don't get the first one, you get the second one. It's like a buddy of mine whose brother missed his wedding. He says, "I'm sorry I missed your wedding." He goes, "That's all right. You can make the next one." 17 seconds to shoot. 28 on the game clock. And it comes back the other way. It's 23-point lead for the Raiders. Make it 21. As we're at 10 seconds, 60-39. Steal back for Chipola. And Ezzedine was smart not to foul there. A lot of kids would have fouled, but he didn't. Wilson Frame. From half court. Won't fall. Raiders by 21 at the half. We'll be back in 20 minutes, 15 minutes exactly. You're watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
Anytime someone comes to the emergency room, it's of course always good to have ID because many people have similar names, and without a date of birth, of social security number, driver's license number, it's sometimes difficult to actually get the right patient out of our data bank in the computer system. So good identifying information is helpful. Insurance cards, of course, are always a good thing, but especially the medicines that people are on, the list of medicines that they're taking, or their actual medicines in hand if they bring with them. That is vitally important to the physician taking care of them. It's very important that we know what medicines they're on and what medicines they're allergic to. To me, there are absolutely two fundamentals of medical care. There's what we refer to as the quality of care and the quality of service, or translated, good medicine, good bedside manner. They are the two cornerstones, the two pillars, the two absolute fundamentals of medical care. The medical care must be good. It must have the expertise, it must have the technical skills, it must have the right interview, diagnostic skills, it must have the right laboratory capability to support it, the right imaging capability, the right specialty consultation. The practice of the medicine has to be good. It has to be right. It's a sacred art that is practiced by physicians, and physicians take it as a sacred responsibility. But on the other hand, there has to be the human touch. There has to be the human connection. There has to be the look in the eye. There has to be a love for another human being. There has to be compassion for another human being. There has to be empathy for that patient, because as I'm fond of saying, sooner or later we all get our turn on both sides of the bed rail. And granted, for 99% of my life, I'm the one on the outside of the bed rail and I'm taking care of the patient on the inside, but once in a while my turn comes on the other side of the bed rail, and sooner or later we all get our turn on the other side. And we all get sick and we all get hurt. I once heard an interesting quote from B.B. King, the blues musician. An interviewer had asked him, he said, "So B.B., you're a talented guy, why did you go into the blues?" And he thought about it a minute and he said, "Because in my music, I wanted to relate to everyone." He said, "And I realized not everybody knows love, not everybody knows happiness, not everybody knows success, not everybody knows prosperity, but everybody knows what it is to hurt. Everyone knows what it is to be lonely. Everyone knows what it is to worry and to fear." He said, "And so I went into the blues because I realized it was the only truly universal human emotion. And if I went into the blues, I could relate to everybody." And medicine is very much that way. Everyone knows what it is to be sick, and everyone knows what it is to hurt, and everyone knows what it is to have some degree of injury, and everyone knows what it is to be worried and fearful about your own health and your own life. And that's an important part of practicing medicine, because when you see the patient there in the bed, when you take care of someone, when you lay hands on someone, it's an extension of yourself. You can't help but see yourself lying there. And that's an absolutely essential part of taking care of patients. It's something that I'm, in particular, very compassionate about, very strongly feeling about that. It's an important part of medicine, every bit as important as the accuracy and the quality of the medical care. So bedside manner to me is essential. I know when I'm a patient, that's the kind of bedside manner I want. So personally, I treat everybody like I would want to be treated. I treat them like they're my family. I treat them like they're my friends. And the beauty of living in a small town is most of them are my friends anyway.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
Anytime someone comes to the emergency room, it's of course always good to have ID because many people have similar names, and without a date of birth, of social security number, driver's license number, it's sometimes difficult to actually get the right patient out of our data bank in the computer system. So good identifying information is helpful. Insurance cards, of course, are always a good thing, but especially the medicines that people are on. The list of medicines that they're taking, or their actual medicines in hand if they bring with them. That is vitally important to the physician taking care of them. It's very important that we know what medicines they're on and what medicines they're allergic to. To me, there are absolutely two fundamentals of medical care. There's what we refer to as the quality of care and the quality of service, or translated, good medicine, good bedside manner. They are the two cornerstones, the two pillars, the two absolute fundamentals of medical care. The medical care must be good. It must have the expertise, it must have the technical skills, it must have the right interview, diagnostic skills, it must have the right laboratory capability to support it, the right imaging capability, the right specialty consultation. The practice of the medicine has to be good. It has to be right. It's a sacred art that is practiced by physicians, and physicians take it as a sacred responsibility. But on the other hand, there has to be the human touch. There has to be the human connection. There has to be the look in the eye. There has to be a love for another human being. There has to be compassion for another human being. There has to be empathy for that patient, because as I'm fond of saying, sooner or later we all get our turn on both sides of the bed rail. And granted, for 99% of my life, I'm the one on the outside of the bed rail and I'm taking care of the patient on the inside, but once in a while, my turn comes on the other side of the bed rail, and sooner or later, we all get our turn on the other side. And we all get sick, and we all get hurt. I once heard an interesting quote from B.B. King, the blues musician. An interviewer had asked him, he said, "So B.B., you're a talented guy, why did you go into the blues?" And he thought about it a minute and he said, "Because in my music, I wanted to relate to everyone." He said, "And I realized not everybody knows love, not everybody knows happiness, not everybody knows success, not everybody knows prosperity, but everybody knows what it is to hurt. Everyone knows what it is to be lonely. Everyone knows what it is to worry and to fear." He said, "And so I went into the blues because I realized it was the only truly universal human emotion. And if I went into the blues, I could relate to everybody." And medicine is very much that way. Everyone knows what it is to be sick, and everyone knows what it is to hurt, and everyone knows what it is to have some degree of injury, and everyone knows what it is to be worried and fearful about your own health and your own life. And that's an important part of practicing medicine, because when you see the patient there in the bed, when you take care of someone, when you lay hands on someone, it's an extension of yourself. You can't help but see yourself lying there. And that's an absolutely essential part of taking care of patients. It's something that I'm, in particular, very compassionate about, very strongly feeling about that. It's an important part of medicine, every bit as important as the accuracy and the quality of the medical care. So bedside manner to me is essential. I know when I'm a patient, that's the kind of bedside manner I want. So personally, I treat everybody like I would want to be treated. I treat them like they're my family. I treat them like they're my friends. And the beauty of living in a small town is most of them are my friends anyway.
Well, this is it, John. The final 20 minutes, the Raiders at home this year. Last we'll see them in person.
And just kind of watching how the Raiders interact with each other in the warm-up line, and it's like they have a genuine care for one another. I know winning always helps, and you feel good after with the record they have, but they have fun with each other, and they know when to get serious, know when they got to play.
60-39 as Edwards goes in, got fouled.
I mean, talent-wise, they're probably as talented as any team in the country, but we understand that it goes more into rounding out a team. It's leadership, and it looks like they've got the leadership. Coach DeMeo does a good job of really communicating with his players and team, and just finding that pulse of how they're doing. And he makes all the right moves.
Yeah. 62-39, Chipola taking it inside, Cobb, and he banks it home.
Petaway gave some ground there, but probably a good idea not to foul.
Jerome.
Chipola can't trade baskets with this team. They're going to have to try to get some stops along the way.
And here we go again. Feliz pushing it 5-on-4 and making it look easy.
Back up to the biggest margin of 25 as the Raider faithful come filing back down after their one wing.
Yeah, the reverse layup by Hardnett. And foul on the floor. (66-43), good guys. The official waiting patiently for somebody to go get him the ball. Wilson frame penetrates, jump hook, Petway won't go. Romy hugging the baseline, gets it out of there smartly, wisely. Layup no good, contested, and here we go again. Feliz, long pass down court, Wilson frame, and just an easy reverse layup. 68-43, folks.
Making it look easy. But Tom, as much as we've seen them this year at playing at home especially, I don't think there's ever been a game where Romy and Edwards and Wilson Frame have all gotten off
all together, right?
Really good starts. And if this is what the direct result is, other teams in the state and the nation can watch out. I mean, it's when those three are on together, this is an unbeatable team.
Man, they're going to go back the other way.
You're right, we might have Casey Ponder time.
It might be real early. And more of Casey, the better. 68-45.
Good defense by the Raiders that time.
Won't go for Turner. Put back, and
Chipola just got a lid on their basket.
So at the line for Chipola, Eric Turner, 70.3% free throw shooter for the year. Turner out of West Oak Academy in Gainesville. Official sharing a few giggles with some of the players. Free throw good.
Chipola not giving up on this. They're only down, they're down 21, but The body language from the coaches says that they're still in this.
$17-13 to play. 68-47, still stays at 21 points. Spin move inside to Cobb, and he got fouled again. This time, Darrell Edwards raises his hand. Basket's good.
Eric Cobb has spent some time at the foul line tonight.
Nice touch on for the big man. Chipola keeping up the pressure. They've got it inside 20. It's a 19-point game, 68-49. 16 minutes, 55 seconds to play here. Last home game for the Raiders. Corner jumper just a little long. Edwards there to clean it up. It won't fall. Romey tried to follow. Here comes Chipola back the other way. Cobb running the point, the big man. And he turned it over. Here goes Jerome. And Cobb doing a little bit of Jerome with a hard foul in the first half. Two-shot foul.
Players don't have short memories, do they? They know.
No.
They know.
They know numbers, and they know who hits hard.
They do.
Romy Rodriguez, what a two-year career he's had out of Santiago, Dominican Republic. Three dribbles, locks his knees, and shoots. I saw a call last night in the Choctaw game, Coach, I've never seen before, but I knew the rule was there. A delay a game on a free throw shooter. I guess you've got 30 seconds to shoot the ball.
You have 10.
Or is that what it is, 10? The Deontay Smith for Choctaw likes to walk all the way back and come back, and once they gave him the ball or whatever, they counted him down, and everybody looked puzzled, but they called delay of game.
Yeah, not a call you see often.
No. Three-pointer air ball. Turner there to catch the ball out of the air. And Chipola dangerously close to backcourt. 72-49. And it's going to head back the Raiders' way. The foul's on number 3. You had Aylock his third foul.
Fouls are piling up already in the second half.
They sure are. It may be a long night getting out of here. $15:30 to play. Last home game, the last game of the regular season for the Raiders and the Lady Raiders. Saturday night in Tallahassee as Wilson Frame goes in and battles. Maybe that's how Chipola figures that's the only way they can stay in it is to just
start the foul game.
Start the foul game, yeah.
Wilson Frame hasn't really been heard of since early in the game. He started off really strong, scored the first 5 or 7 points.
Hey, you mentioned it early on. He was perfect to start the game.
Yeah, he had the one little roll that bounced on the rim about 10 times and went down. He had another baseline drive and had a 3. And you really didn't hear from him too much. That's the beauty of this Raider team. They've got so many weapons.
Yeah.
And only one basketball.
And a little alley-oop at the 15:03 mark to Aylock. (73-51) Raiders. And off the miss, Ron Freeman will go and shoot two.
Boy, Freeman really aggressive, looking for his shots tonight. But the success that Coach DeMayo has been able to get with this team is in its simplicity. That's their success. They keep things simple. There's not a lot of confusion. There's not a lot of chaos. Guys know their roles and they go out and play.
And sometimes you can overcomplicate defense, and they keep it pretty simple.
And you can overcomplicate offense. I mean, I've seen his play chart, and he's got an
array of them,
a full page, but he doesn't have to call every single play out every game. He gives his players some freedom, lets them play, and again, that's that simplicity that works out best.
Aylock went up for the dunk, and it was contested and foul on Jerome Rodriguez, his third of the game. 14:30 to play.
And we're already one away from the bonus for the Raiders.
Yeah, 10 team fouls so far early on in this half. Total between the two teams. It continues to be a 22-point game. Edwards content to burn a little clock. Goes in for it. Nice pass. Nice finish. And you normally see a 20-plus point game and you think it's a snoozer, but these guys, they're going at it.
No, and Chipola hasn't given up. Chipola still thinks they're in this. I think in the back of their mind, they know the result, but because this pretty much is going to, I don't know if 3 teams are going or is it just 2?
I believe it's the top 2. I don't think the Panhandle has an at-large this year. Free throw's good by Mohamed Toure.
So if the score remains the same, it'll put Chipola at 5 and 6.
Wilson frame.
And that pretty much makes sense because you'll have the 2 best teams, which is Tallahassee and also Northwest, representing the Panhandle Conference in the state championship. State tournament, excuse me.
And Rodriguez and Aylock having a little meeting. And Rodriguez is escorting
one Dominican to take
Feliz out. So we're going to walk the other end of the floor. We got 15:38 to play. Clock is back up operational on your screen, and you can see it. 26-point lead for the Raiders.
Boy, Yacht a lock. I didn't think they got that mad in New Zealand. He just turned around and just pushed Romy.
He didn't say mate, did he?
No.
So that's the 5th foul on Uad Aylock.
That's where I'd go ask him. If you just want to come out of the game, you told me. You didn't have to foul.
Let me know.
Let me know. I'll make a substitution.
Still waiting for the officials to sort it out. Talking to Coach Brett Campbell and Steve DeMayo on the other end, just kind of waiting to get this thing going again. The question that keeps getting asked of me, just because of the enormous success Coach DeMayo's had here, is like, how long is he going to stay? How long can you keep him? It's a fun job, but certainly other things are on the horizon.
Yeah, and having a chance to talk to him and go have dinner a couple times, he's had offers and he's had opportunities, but I don't think his work is finished here yet. Even though after a national championship 2 years removed, I still think he thinks this team can really make a run. And then you talk about quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, you have a chance to live in one of the beautiful parts of the country. And this arena is a drawing point for a lot of these kids who, like you say,
never played in anything like this.
Or Ron Freeman, who's coming from Kansas State, and, you know, would like to continue to play in arenas and not gymnasiums.
Boy, Freeman's fast. 3 dribbles and the ball's there. Feliz. One step too many. .13:08 to play, and the foul fest continues.
And you can't blame the officials now. You want to try to keep it under control, but that's what Uwada Locke's foul did, was really tighten things up, and now this 13 minutes will be an eternity.
I think it was about 4 years ago, when maybe 5, we were doing the radio over in Chipola. No, it was the year that the first year we were doing the stream here, we missed it, and it ended ugly over there. Ball throwing incident, fight breaking out, and you just don't want it to end like that. And like you said, the officials doing to keep this under control. Wilson framed. It's almost like a pickup game with him.
Little resistance right now.
Another foul. And you can almost hear the stands, folks in the stands going, oh no. Both teams with 17 fouls this half, and we're not even at the midway point. First free throw missed everything. Wide left. Wide left and wide right. Saw Coach Bowden speak over in Tallahassee last week. He had some stories about those early teams, how bad they were. He says, oh gosh, we were so bad our first year, we played in 5 homecomings.
You know, and I meant to make a point of that, Tom. You do a great job with the Danny Werfel Trophy and just that newsletter that comes out. And I know we've talked about this before. You don't think anybody reads it, but it's very informative, and you do a great job with it. I sent you an email today talking about the Buck Smith article.
Yeah, the old throwback to the first ever Al Byrne Award in 1974. Boy, what a man Buck Smith was, huh?
And written by Ron Balicki.
Ron Balicki, another Hall of Famer.
Goes back a long time.
Yeah, the Werfel Trophy really is come into its own. A college football award, national level, still presented right here. I had one of my wife's coworkers came up to her and said, who won the Danny Werfel Award this year? And she said, nobody. There is no Danny Werfel Award. It's the Werfel Trophy. It's not the Heisman Award.
Right,
yeah?
right.
And the girl looked at her like, oh, you smart aleck. Okay. But we'll pause right now. Media timeout. Raiders 86-58. Back in 1 minute. You're watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
After tonight, I'll still have dreams of the pep band playing behind us.
Yes, they do an outstanding job, but they
can do it. Jared Wilson frame leading all scorers with 23 points. Jerome Rodriguez 17. Darrell Edwards 16. And we're not done yet. We could have a 30 night for Jared Wilson frame. There's two more, make it 25. It's like the Globetrotters and the New Jersey Generals here.
Yes, defensively you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that NBA All-Star game, huh?
Didn't watch it.
I did. Maybe 5 minutes of it, and I said, no, it's time to go read a book.
Thankfully, I was asleep.
I don't want to say I'm the purest of all purists, but at least attempt to play some defense. 88-60. Raiders with a bucket here could make it a 30-point lead. And it's going to come the other way.
Nice job by Bruce letting him have the layup.
Hard net. So P.J. Bruce brings it up. Guarded by Gregory. And a reach on the inside. And fifth foul for Jamal Gregory, going out to his own round of applause.
Well, if nobody else is going to give it to you, you might as well, Mr. Gregory.
It's like having an end zone dance after somebody scores on you. So two Chipola players have taken a seat. P.J. Bruce at the line out of Moreno Valley, California. Colony High School. Sophomore. Rattles the second one. And running hook off the glass by Cobb. Big man gets two more. Unofficially 12 points tonight for Cobb. Out of St. Francis Academy in Jacksonville, the other side of the state.
Another congratulations go out to Mariana, Coach Matt Anderson. They advanced, they beat Pensacola Catholic. They'll play Jacksonville Reigns for a spot in the regional, for a spot in Final Four.
Yeah, it's that time of year. That's the hard thing about the playoffs, and you've been there. And a travel. 32 teams enter, and 31 of them lose their last game.
Yeah, Matt's been doing it a long time. Won 5 state championships at Malone, and has taken over the Mariana program. And after Travis Blanton did such a great job with it, continued winning ways over there. So we wish Matt the best of luck. He's normally a fixture here and watching Raider basketball.
Wilson Frame with a beautiful assist to P.J. Bruce. Is it too early now, Coach, for you to start working on schedule and your holiday tournament and all for next year?
No, I think you need to do that, especially, you know, of course, everybody wants to have their district meeting to find out what their district is
going to be,
and obviously schedule district games first. But it's really the worst part of the job because you've got to connect with so many different people and get those dates together.
And everyone's a home and home.
Everyone, most of them. Yeah. Had one guy for, I won't tell you the school, but I said, Coach, can I call you next week? He said, call me in April. It's cobia season.
3 from the corner for Carter Skaggs, and timeout. Chipola, they've cut it to 23. It was just almost 30 a few minutes ago. Full timeout. We'll pause as well. Back after this. You're watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
Eight and a half to play, 23 points is the margin. Send these Raiders out on a high note. And wish them well as they go into the regional tournament, which just happens to be the state tournament in the state of Florida. I guess in Texas there's 2 regions. It's so big out there.
I didn't know that. Down in Ocala, state tournament will be.
Yeah, the Indians, Choctahatchee travels to Ocala Friday night, and this team will get a week off and then go to Ocala, and then hopefully things fall into place. Hutchinson, Kansas. The destination spot for junior college basketball in February. How about that? Let's make it a 21-point game with just under 8 to play. Jerome Rodriguez getting set to come back in.
This is not good for Casey Ponder time.
No. Casey was close. He had his shoes laced up and was about to take that top off, but not yet. Wilson Frame left side, behind the back, wraparound, and the third pass doesn't work. Coming the other way is Hardnett. And count it. So that 20-point lead is gone. The 28-point lead is gone. It's down to 19.
I told you they'd make a run. I didn't realize it would be when they were down 28. .724. And if you're watching, which is the only way you're hearing us, you can see that. Bottom right corner of your screen. The first and only free throw is missed. Rodriguez there to get the board. Unofficially fifth rebound of the game so far for Romy. Well, he's trapped in the right corner.
Skip pass long across to Darrell Edwards. Rebound Cobb. Cobb gets it out quick for a big man. And a little defensive shuffle kind of caught him off guard. TJ Bogan, and now Coach DeMayo wants the 30-seconder.
Nice job by Feliz in transition, just finding the open man, able to find Bogan, who happens to be our player of the game profile.
He is the highlighter.
TJ Bogan, sophomore guard, averaging 7 points and 2 rebounds per game. Who are 3 people you'd like to have dinner with, past or present? Steph Curry, Lil Wayne, and 50 Cent. Do you have any hidden talents? His are music and drag racing. I'm sure the Niceville police will be happy to hear that. What are your plans after you leave Northwest Florida? Continue basketball at the next level and start a music career? What's on your bucket list? Visit Jesus' birthplace and parachute. Two good ones. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Costa Rica waterfalls. Your player of the game profile, TJ Bogan.
I'll tell you, a trip to Israel would be kind of cool. It's just kind of unrest over there all the time. You know? Of course, it's been that way for how many hundreds of years?
You're right.
Yeah.
A little more unrest than normal.
Yeah.
Than the last 50 years.
Yeah. And with this administration, who knows what's next?
Little uncertainty.
Yeah, jumper from the corner. Another one by Carter Skaggs. He's got a big smile on his face.
For some reason I want to call him Boz.
Boz. I knew that
Boz
was coming
Skaggs.
somewhere. You dirty, dirty lowdown. 6:14 and counting here. One-liners are flying left and right.
As we're trying to keep you entertained.
And how about that for JWF? Make it 27. Wilson Frame looking for that 30 number. And Wilson Frame again. I'm going to wave it off and say he lowered the shoulder. And you see how hard it is to score 30 in a game. Makes me just amazed even more that that night you scored 41 in the Old Timers game.
That's exactly what it was. That old Timers guarded me. That's why I scored 41.
Sweet Caroline, we're going to take it for a 1-minute break when we wrap this thing up in 5:43. Bring it on, Neil Diamond.
Choosing to have joint replacement surgery is difficult. Deciding where to have it can be just as overwhelming. If you're considering joint replacement surgery, consider this. Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital both offer certified orthopedic joint replacement programs and have received the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval. It's why so many people trust us for knee and hip replacement surgeries. Trust Fort Walton Beach Medical Center and Twin Cities Hospital.
The Raider Brass. We've been calling them the pep band all this time. They've got a name, the Raider Brass, by way of Niceville High School, and they've got a lot of brass. They don't have many woodwinds up there, but boy, they're good. Another long bomb. Can't buy that one. Wilson Frame with the long rebound. Skaggs kind of shot his limit. Hit a couple in a row, and then that one was off. 5:15 to play. 22-point lead for the good guys. Next bucket breaks 100. Winner, winner, chicken dinner maybe, huh? That's it. Triple digits for the Raiders. And lost the other way with under 5 to play. So good basketball left to play this year, and really no clear favorites in the tournament. Just in my eyes, I mean, there are no outrights, you know.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go. See, I saw where Duke got upset tonight. Syracuse upsets Duke, and got Louisville, North Carolina playing in a game tonight. That's a marquee matchup.
Give and go, Rodriguez to Feliz.
I'm going with Kansas. I think Kansas will cut the nets down.
Rock Chalk, Jayhawk. Coach Bill Self. I know they're anxious up there. Those Kansas fans, and very much like Kentucky fans. There you go, 29 now for Wilson Frame.
Hopefully Coach Prom didn't hear me, but
just to your right, yeah. Back in and good for Cobb. Now it's just trading blows left and right. Defense is kind of slacked off, 104-81.
Boy, the Raider faithful still stays and watches.
They do.
Good for them.
And you know what was a lot of fun a couple years ago when the Raider faithful were here for the national championship celebration. And I got to MC that and look them right in the eye here. And those guys, they live and die by these Raiders. They're here for the ladies' games. So I'm sure they go to softball, baseball. 3:25 to play, and at the line will go Turner.
We've talked in great detail about Coach DeMeo and his coaching staff and the players, but we hardly ever give credit where credit's due, and that's the administration and Ramsey Ross and what they've been able to accomplish here. And also new president, Dr. Devin Stevenson.
Found work laid years ago by Mickey Inglett. Here comes Wilson Frame out with 29. Standing ovation. Well deserved. And in the game, Joe Cook Green. Oh, and a little unsportsmanlike conduct there by Cobb. The ball came in, he just swatted it into the second row. Little did he know he almost hit Judge Flowers. Your Honor, Your Honor.
He wanted to make that Spalding statement.
Yeah.
Spalding, you'll have nothing like it.
That's the line of this year. Sean McDonough just out of nowhere, Spalding said you'll have nothing and like it.
Still giggle at that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And out of the game comes Darrell Edwards to a nice round of applause. And Casey Ponder's got the shirt off. He's got the warm-up T-shirt off, so it's only a matter of time before the young man from Rocky Bayou Christian gets in the game.
I see his mother, who our beautiful mother, Mona Ponder, up there. I don't see Representative Mel Ponder, his father.
His father, he's a legend in his special session.
Boy, RJ, we're trying to keep it interesting here.
Yeah. We certainly aren't getting paid by the one-liner.
No. Casey is at the scorer's table.
And so Ponder will be the next one in, and it will be a loud round of applause at the next stoppage of play. 2:58 to play. Young man's got a big smile on his face waiting to get in. Somebody needs to commit a foul to stop play. Long three attempt for Boz Skaggs. And not to be. And now we'll see. And here he comes. Number 21. Casey Ponder in for Jerome Rodriguez.
We'll say the applause is for Jerome Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Tried the alley-oop, but the one-step put back by Turner's in. 2:24 to play. And the whole mission is to get Casey a bucket, but no. TJ Bogan will do just fine. 110 to 85. Mohamed Toure will go to the line. Shoot 2. In case he gets called out for a foul.
Anything to get your name on the PA.
That's it, man. And out of the game to a big round of applause is Malik Petway.
Quiet night for Malik.
And wouldn't that be nice if we could come back here in about 4 or 5 weeks and national championship celebration? I don't want to count your eggs before they're hatched, but that would be a nice thing to end it with.
That would be. Very well deserved, Coach DeMayo and his staff and group of players. Casey Ponder.
Oh, a miss by Casey. Left corner, Skaggs.
Boss.
He's the man. And a substitution timeout now to get the commissioner back in the game. Andrew Gordon.
$1:33.
Yep, that'll do it. In about 90 seconds, this one will be in the books. 110-90 right now. Ponder. Oh, in and out. House was wanting it. The bench was wanting it more than anybody. Skaggs for 3. Commissioner Gordon with a rebound. And we're going to look again to try to find number 21. And we do. Spots up. There, you got it. 2-pointer. Worth the price of admission. That in the chicken wing.
Good for you, Casey Ponder.
Yep. Foul on the attempt.
And more impressive is Andres Feliz, who's found him both times on all.
Yeah.
Very unselfish.
.47 ticks. Raiders up by 22. Free throw short. .112.90. Feliz out to Ponder again. Left his feet and oh. Casey thought he got away with it. Tried to put it on the ground when he was in the air and the official said no dice. Community service project there for you.
Yeah, out of breath. Well, Tom,
22 seconds, 22-point lead, and we'll dribble this one out, I believe.
It's been a pleasure again working with you.
It was. It's a lot of fun. RJ doing it better than anybody.
RJ, great job this year.
Pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, doing all those things he does, and working with his team of crack photographers. But again, the Indians come up short. Not so for the Raiders. 112-90 as we sign it off for this year. Great way to take it out in a standing ovation. Well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and for R.J. Murdoch and his team and Coach John Lavin. This is Tom Purcell bidding you good night and good luck, Raiders, the rest of the way. So long, everyone.